Welcome to ABC 31 News tonight. I'm Scott Beadle. Tropical storm Cindy has moved on, but rain and storms appear to be sticking around a bit for the weekend. Weather is our top story tonight. Let's get the latest on our forecast from Chief Meteorologist Chris Summers.
Hey Scott, yeah, we are seeing some more showers and thunderstorms still going to be in our area over the next 24 to 48 hours, all because of a cold front now that's pushing through. Now, what's left of Tropical Storm Cindy has made its way well out of our area into parts of the Ohio Valley and Tennessee Valley, causing some flooding in that area. But we're going to see a cold front approach our area for tomorrow. That's going to bring some more showers and thunderstorms along with it, and then eventually bringing some drier area in here late Sunday, possibly into early next week, as temperatures will stay in the low to mid 80s here as we go through the weekend and early next week. Chance of some showers and thunderstorms, as you see on the radar, actually making their way out of our area and pushing off to the north and to the east. So a few clouds left over from that. But one thing you noticed today, though, was that heat index, that humidity up in the upper dew points into the upper 70s, a very tropical air mass, and we see these dew points up that high and those temperatures in the 80s. That produces a heat index, or I feel like temperature in the triple digits across the area. And we saw up to 105 or 110 degree triple digit heat as far as heat and humidity goes here across our region. So that's going to hang around at least one more day. But as we get that cold front to approach our area on Saturday and Sunday, that will bring some cooler air and also some drier air back into our region early next week. But for tonight, still an isolated chance of a thunderstorm around, otherwise partly cloudy. Temperatures only dropping back to 75 by tomorrow morning. So we'll talk more about that threat of rain in the forecast, also about the drier weather for next week. And that's all ahead coming up in a few more minutes.
All right, thank you, Chris. Natchitoches police are looking for a battery suspect. There's now a warrant out on 20-year-old Tarantino Charles. Police say Charles got into a fight with a man on Winona Street, causing a serious head injury. If you have any information on his whereabouts, please call police. The state convention for the veterans of foreign wars began today and will continue through the weekend.
Today we have our annual convention at the VFW. We do our memorial service to recognize Gold Star parents who done lost deceased one during the year. And also it's a time for us to have our annual election for the new state commander. And we also do our business section, things we have to go discuss and go over from the upcoming year.
The Louisiana Department of Veterans Affairs is the State Department of Veterans Affairs that supports all veterans programs, including veteran service organizations like the American Legion, the VFW, and others. And whenever there's a summer conference or convention, we are there. We provide updates on what the department is doing in support of our veterans, and we bring greetings from our governor as well.
The convention also welcomes Commander-in-Chief of the VFW, Brian Duffy, to Louisiana. Duffy was elected as Commander-in-Chief last July. Time Saver Auto Tags and Title celebrates its grand opening. The Sunlit Chamber of Commerce was there for a ribbon cutting. Time Saver Auto Tags and Title specializes in titles, registrations, lost stickers, plates, and more. You can find them in Pineville off Highway 28 East to take care of your DMV needs. The 2017 Glow Fest is happening this weekend. It's the first Glow Fest in downtown Alexandria with black lights, color explosions, and much more.
The Glow Fest is simply a color run that happens at night, and so we're going to start Saturday in downtown Ellick at the River Amphitheater, so it's on the other side of the levee. We're going to, everything's going to start off at 7 o'clock, music and vendors. We're going to ask people that haven't registered online already to come out and register there. We're going to just kind of do like a pre-party thing, a jam stretch, and then at dusk when the sunset falls, we're going to embark. We're going to let our runners embark on their journey. It's a 1-mile fun run through 3 glow zones where you're going to get color powder and glow paint. It's going to be illuminated by UV black lights, and you're going to return from the course back to the Glow Fest area where we're going to have our after party.
Children 5 and under get in free, and regular admission is $15. Admission for the Glow Fest and the 1-mile run is $25, and all contributions will benefit the Children's Miracle Network. A day after Republicans released details on their new health care measure, why the initiative already appears dead in the water. Plus, a controversial ruling in a neighboring state that will allow businesses to refuse service to some people. Details coming up on ABC 31 News. Today, the battle over the Senate GOP healthcare plan heads into the next phase, possible negotiations. Right now, the bill to repeal and replace Obamacare does not have enough Republican senators to pass. ABC's Kenneth Moten has the latest from Washington.
President Trump at the White House focused on Veterans Affairs Friday.
We've already achieved transformative change at the VA, And believe me, we're just getting started.
Also getting started, negotiations on the Senate GOP healthcare bill. The president telling Fox News it's complicated.
It's a very, very narrow path, but I think we're going to get there.
The Republican plan to replace the Affordable Care Act facing major opposition. Moderates worry it guts Obamacare too much.
This bill that's currently in front of the United States Senate, not the answer.
Several top health and medical groups agree. The March of Dimes saying it's disappointed Senate leadership has failed to protect pregnant women, infants, and families. At least 4 conservatives, including Rand Paul, also coming out strong against the bill.
I didn't run on allowing the death spiral of Obamacare to continue just to subsidize it with taxpayer money.
The bill ends the requirement that everyone must have health insurance, offers tax credits to help Americans buy coverage, but scraps subsidies to lower costs, rolls back the Obamacare expansion of Medicaid, but leaves in place protections for people with pre-existing conditions. That could be a major sticking point for House Republicans who are paying close attention to what's happening in the Senate.
Just like in the House, that is a starting point. It's not the end point.
The head of the House Freedom Caucus says he believes the Senate bill does not have enough conservative support to pass in the House. So what to expect next week? Negotiations, details on the potential impact on Americans, and not likely but possible, a vote before the July 4th recess. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
Now to the latest in the stabbing of a police officer at the Flint, Michigan airport. Officials at Hurley Medical Center held a press conference today updating the officer's condition. They say Lieutenant Jeff Neville is alert, awake, and lucky to be alive.
This was a matter of millimeters to severing his major artery.
The FBI is investigating the incident as a possible act of terrorism. The suspect attempted to buy a gun a week before the attack, but was denied. Instead, he purchased a 12-inch Amazon Jungle Survivor knife, using it to ambush Neville outside the TSA checkpoint. The FBI says the Canadian attacker was not on the radar of Canadian or U.S. authorities and is believed to have acted alone. Now to controversy over a law in Mississippi that would allow business owners who cite religious beliefs to deny services to same-sex couples. A federal appeals court upheld the state's right to enforce that law, reversing a judge's previous decision. Opponents are now vowing to fight back, even taking the issue to the Supreme Court. ABC's Ariel Reshef has the latest from New York.
A controversial piece of legislation passed in the Mississippi State House in 2016 is one step closer to becoming law.
I think that this sends the wrong message to people outside our state.
The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals on Thursday reversing a prior ruling blocking the bill, giving it new life.
Fifth Circuit made the right decision in dismissing the complaint because the plaintiffs have not been harmed by the law.
If enacted, Mississippi's religious objections measure could provide a loophole to the U.S. Supreme Court decision granting equal protections for same-sex couples. Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant saying the House bill simply prevents government interference with the constitutional right to exercise sincerely held religious beliefs. This latest ruling, reminiscent of Indiana's contentious religious freedom bill, signed into law by then-Governor Mike Pence. It allowed business owners to refuse service based on sexual orientation.
I do not think it is targeting gays. Personally, I don't think it's a discrimination.
I'm afraid this is going to be yet another excuse to hate.
Opponents of the Mississippi law saying it endorses blatant bigotry and promising to fiercely push back.
We're going to ask the whole court to listen and take another crack at it, and after that we'd have the opportunity to go to the Supreme Court.
Legal experts say if upheld, the Mississippi law would be the broadest of its kind enacted in any state. Ariel Reshef, ABC News, New York.
All right, so Cindy has moved on, but the rain just kind of keeps coming.
Yeah, actually still hanging around. We got a cold front to our north and west. It's causing a lot of activity in parts of Arkansas right now. We'll actually get into our area tomorrow, bring another chance of rain with our forecast for your Saturday and into Sunday. A very humid day out there today, as those dew points are into the upper 70s, close to 80 late this afternoon. Our high temperature did make it to 88, normal high 91, picked up about 3,400ths of an inch of rain so far for today. We'll talk more about your weekend forecast when we come back. And welcome back, everyone. A happy Friday to you. Did see some rain showers out there earlier today around the Alexandria area, but you can see from the latest radar and satellite, most of the activity has made its way off into parts of Mississippi. You do see a little bit of light activity down to our south, but the majority of our rain for the next 24 hours actually going to come from the north and west. Got a cold front to our north and west that's going to bring some showers and thunderstorms into central Louisiana through the overnight hours of tonight and into early on your Saturday. And also going to bring in some drier air eventually as we get to Sunday and get rid of some of this humidity we've had around the area here the last couple of days. Look at these dew points, though. Our current dew point here in Alexandria is at 78 degrees. That's just in the oppressive category. That's even higher than we expect to see in a very tropical air mass. You only see dew points usually in the low to mid 70s. So this is a very tropical air mass here. When you factor that in with temperatures in the upper 80s, that produces that heat index or feel like temperature into the triple digits in most of the area. Feeling right now like 100 degrees here in Alexandria. It feels like 104 in Natchitoches and feeling like 100 degrees in Shreveport and Monroe. So we got mostly sunny skies outside right now, 86 degrees. Again, that dew point at 78, producing that feel-like temperature at 100 degrees. Our south-southwest winds not really giving much relief here today, but we'll see that pressure continue to fall as we watch a cold front approach our area as we get to the next 24 to 48 hours. Here's a look at our high temperatures again around the area. Again, 90 degrees are high in Baton Rouge, 88 up in Monroe, 90 in Natchitoches and Shreveport, and 89 degrees, the high temperature today in Lake Charles. Taking a look outside for tonight, we'll see partly cloudy skies. I think most of the thunderstorm activity is out of the area till maybe later tonight into early tomorrow morning. May see some activity develop once again across parts of central Louisiana. 75 degrees, the low temperature, just a warm and muggy night here overnight tonight. Now, as we go through our Saturday, then temperatures are getting back into the mid 80s as we head into the afternoon hours. And again, that dew point is going to be up in the 70s once again, like we saw today. So we're going to see those heat index or feel like temperatures most likely close to 100 once again. And you're going to see at least some scattering chances of rain around the area too. We'll call it partly cloudy through much of the day with again isolated showers or thunderstorms in our forecast. So what else can we expect to see? Well, again, we'll keep a chance of some storms around as we head into our Saturday. Again, that's ahead of a cold front. And as that cold front does move through on Sunday, we'll still be a little bit humid ahead of that, but once the winds turn around from the north or northwest, once that front goes by, actually going to start to dry out by early next week. Should be seeing temperatures actually cool off a little bit, get back in the mid 80s or so by the time we get to the middle part of next week, but also going to notice a big change in that dew point. It should see some drier air moving here by Monday and Tuesday of next week. But for right now, your Saturday again shows some showers and thunderstorms, at least on a scattered basis on our surface map. But there is some drier air again to our north. Should be getting parts of Arkansas for Saturday, and eventually should work into central Louisiana by Sunday, drying us out a little bit, especially early next week with chances of rain diminishing by Monday and Tuesday. Before tonight, a muggy and warm night out there. 75 degrees overnight lows in some of our hometowns with that chance for a few showers and thunderstorms. As we get into your Saturday, mid 80s or so, we'll go for a high of 85 degrees here in Alexandria, but again, seeing that chance of some showers and thunderstorms around. And our 7-day forecast, low 80s on your Sunday. And as we get to early next week, then we get back into the mid 80s once again, but should see some drying weather getting here by the middle part of next week with partly to mostly sunny skies for Tuesday, Wednesday with highs staying near 85. Scott?
Thank you, Chris. America's most popular gas pipeline is losing its edge, and a Gulf Coast state fair was named the best in the nation. Jane King is at the NASDAQ with those stories and more in today's Gulf Coast Report.
The hottest trade in the U.S. gasoline market is starting to cool as America's U.S. Gulf Coast refining complex seeks more attractive destinations for its rising production of fuel. Marketers have found that shipping gasoline to the Atlantic coast on the Colonial Pipeline may not be the most profitable anymore. Bloomberg reports companies like the pipeline and terminal operator Kinder Morgan are growing their fleets of the ships to move supplies from Gulf Coast refineries to markets in Florida and other parts of the Southeast. Well, Louisiana scientists and students will share $2.5 million in BP money. The grant money will be used over 2 years to conduct research aimed at assisting the state's coastal master plan. And the Mississippi State Fair, the top state fair in the nation on Smart Assets list. The most recent attendance data was 733,000 people. It says musical performances, livestock shows, a fiddler's contest, and plenty of kid-friendly activities like petting zoos and magic shows, just a few hallmarks of the 12-day event. And there's plenty of treats to choose from too, from the biscuit booth home to hot, made-from-scratch biscuits is a perpetual fan favorite. From the NASDAQ market site in Times Square, I'm Jane King with your Gulf Coast Business Report.
The flu vaccine this past year was about 42% effective, slightly lower than in other years. The elderly, of course, are hit hardest by the flu. They're much more likely to land in the hospital or even die from the virus than other age groups. CDC officials say the vaccine offered little protection for those over age 65. The shot did do a good job protecting children and those in their 50s and early 60s. Flu shots are recommended for everyone over the age of 6 months. If you are a woman and over the age of 40, listen up. There are new recommendations out on mammograms. With more, here's Janae Norman.
You probably know a breast cancer survivor or might be one yourself. It's the most common cancer in U.S. women and the second leading cause of cancer death. For middle-aged women, a mammogram has been a mainstay for catching this disease early. Now, but who should get one and when? The nation's top OBGYN group, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, now publishing new guidelines on breast cancer screening, guidelines that differ from those recently put forth by other influential groups. Their advice, doctors should start offering mammograms at age 40 for women at risk, and at age 75, women and their doctors should decide together whether they should keep receiving them or decide that their risks outweigh the benefits. Problem is, that's not what the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force, the main advisory panel on what screening test doctors should offer, say. They think mammograms before 50 shouldn't be recommended, that it's up to the patient. And after 75, they think there's no clear evidence that a mammogram will help anyone. So what should you do? The best first step, realize that you are in charge, then talk to your doctor. Figure out your risk and see what timeline works for you. With this Medical Minute, I'm Janae Norman.
Coming up, NSU sprinter Natasha Jackson took the track in her first event at the Junior Outdoor Championships this afternoon. Plus, we'll hear from a pair of former professional athletes who were just inducted into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame.
Download the KLAX weather app for your smartphone or tablet. Get live current conditions, radar maps, alerts, and more. More ways to stay connected with KLAX TV. Follow us on Twitter. More ways to stay connected with KLAX TV.